I was forced to marry an old man because of my beauty, but when I was led into the cage, I was shocked to find he already had hundreds of beautiful wives. One of them was about to give birth, but when the child was born, he was weak and ugly. The old man just glanced at the baby and turned away without a word. And the woman who bore him a child was cruelly executed. The truth was the old man was near death. He wanted a strong and healthy child to inherit his kingdom, but I had no intention of staying trapped here forever. I cut off my long hair, used melted wax to stick it to a piece of cloth, and made a wig to wear on my head. Everything went as I planned. The old man's foolish son coveted my beauty and secretly kidnapped me. I took the opportunity to trick him with the wig and escaped immediately. By the time he realized he'd been fooled, I had smeared my face with oil and vanished into the night. He looked around, drawing the attention of others, to avoid getting caught for losing his father's wife. He had to pretend nothing happened. I hid behind the pipes under the cliff and disappeared silently. No one knew I had disguised myself as a boy and become a mechanic in the fortress. I waited every day for the right chance, believing I would find a way to escape. Soon I earned the foreman's trust, because few workers could handle the dangerous rope work at heights like I could. Not long after, we were assigned to build a giant vehicle and sent out to an oil refinery. I knew this was the opportunity I had been waiting for, so I secretly hid some food and a motorcycle under the big vehicle. The next day, I followed the convoy out of the city, planning to escape along the way. But halfway there, we were ambushed by a gang of bandits. A huge explosion shook loose the bag of food I had hidden. To make things worse, a bandit crawled under the vehicle to plant a bomb. I quickly kicked him away. At the same time, a crew member used the metal arm to block the attackers and save the vehicle. I had hoped to wait for both sides to destroy each other, but the battle was brutal. The bandits even blew off the radiator cap. If this kept up, the vehicle would be destroyed and everyone would die. So I quickly climbed onto the engine and shut it down, but my hat was blown off, and my long hair was exposed to everyone's eyes. Jack, the team leader, immediately realized I was a girl, but with the enemy still upon us, he didn't call me out. To survive, I used my knowledge of this war rig, skillfully working the mechanisms on the vehicle to take down the remaining enemies. When it was over, only Jack and I were left alive. I went back inside the vehicle, pointed my gun at Jack, and tried to hijack it. But the veteran Jack just slammed the brakes, took the chance to push me out, and drove off without hesitation. In this endless desert, I would surely die without transport or supplies. But I didn't expect Jack to come back. Turns out that he had seen my ability and wanted me to survive this wasteland with him. After weighing the pros and cons, I finally agreed. From then on, I blackened my face and often went on missions with Jack. Our bond grew stronger through blood and fire, until one day we were ambushed at an armory by another armed faction. I reacted quickly, rescuing Jack on a motorcycle and escaping in a small car. But the enemy leader Dementus chased us down in his off-road vehicle, flipped our car, and finally captured us. He had his men drag Jack in circles with a motorcycle and had others hang me up, forcing me to watch my loved one suffer. Seeing Dementus' brutal face, hatred surged through me. Though he didn't recognize me, I would never forget that years ago. It was his men who took me from my hometown, tortured my mother to death when she came to save me, and then traded me to Immortan Joe for peace. I knew that Jack couldn't survive. I had no choice but to cut my losses and escape. By the time Dementus noticed, I was already riding a stolen motorcycle back to the tribe, warning Immortan Joe of his plan to attack. Immortan Joe decided to turn his trick against him, and soon nearly wiped out Dementus' forces. That beast had no choice but to flee. I knew the moment for revenge had come. I put on my mechanical arm, got on my vehicle, and chased after him. Though he ordered his men to scatter and confuse me, I eventually confirmed his direction of escape. He still had no idea he was already cornered. When he woke up again, he discovered in despair that his water bottle was empty. His wheels were gone, and even the bullets in his gun had been dismantled by me. At the end of his rope, he had to kneel before me and beg for mercy. Only then did he finally recognize me as the fragile little girl from so many years ago. He became afraid and tried to provoke me into killing him, but I absolutely would not let him die so easily. In the end, I planted the peach seed my mother had left me inside his body. I would use his flesh and blood as nourishment, so that every second he lived, he would clearly feel what it meant to be unable to live or die.